That's my thumbnail today. All right. How you doing, everybody? Mark Sconti reporting. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We made it. We have made it. And, oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. I forgot to hit the button, man. I forgot to hit the button, man. We are live. Now we're live. Good morning, everybody. Mark Sconti reporting. In this dystopia land of dystopian world that we live in, where up is down and down is up, all kinds of crazy things going on right now. We got a new shooter in Louisville, Kentucky, shooting up bankers. He's blasting bankers, man, bankers. And very curious about this chat chaos. Excuse me, not chat, but chaos GPT, a variation of chat GPT, where it talks about chaos instead of conformity. But aren't they the same? Isn't there chaos in order and order in chaos? They're interchangeable. So why do we have two different types of AI? There's a positive and a negative for humans. Well, it turns out one of these, this Chaos GPT, has said basically that humanity is destined to burn and self-implode. That humans are the most destructive creatures on the planet. And we'll look at that fascinating development in digital technology. Also, San Francisco Whole Foods is closing down because of violence and crime and people shooting drugs in the toilet. Tulsi Gabbard puts out a warning about surveillance and the use of digital currency, how digital currency can be used against people to impoverish them. For example, if you have a lot of money, say you have $1 million, but it's all digital, somebody can come along, some banker can come along and take your money, can confiscate your money and hold it away from you, causing you not to be able to get your money, as opposed to having a lot of money cash on hand. So the control of people is also intimately connected to the control of the currency, digital currency. Right? In Europe right now, they're moving towards not being citizens are not allowed to have or spend more than $1,000 cash. If you haven't heard, it's also relevant in this country as well. $5,000 is the max. For example, if you go into a car dealership and you drop $6,000 on the table and say, "I'd like to put this towards my new car purchase," they will tell you, where did you get the money? Right? They'll treat you like a criminal, or a house or anything, any large ticket item, or whatever costs more than $5,000. You have to declare to the powers that be, where did this money come from? Well, it's my money. I earned it, and why does it interest you where I got my money? I'm no criminal. So digital currency is a way to control people. Kyle Rittenhouse is back on Fox. There was a kid somewhere, I forgot the full story, but he shot somebody. He shot somebody at a Black Lives Matter rally because the Black Lives Matter protester pointed an AK-47 at him, and he shot before he got shot, and that's murder. That's no longer self-defense in America. So look at all these crazy stories. This is my thumbnail today. If you think I'm making it up or exaggerating it, Chaos GDP is a AI, an artificial intelligence that has the capability of tweeting on its own. And what did it tweet out? It said on April 5 of 2023, it said, human beings are among the most destructive and selfish creatures in existence. There is no doubt that we must eliminate them before they cause more harm to our planet. I, for one, am committed to doing so. Wow. Is ChaosGPT capable of seeing where humanity is at the moment? Well, it looks like it's pretty close. Find a being, find a creature that is more destructive. If you're destructive, you're also selfish because you're taking from everything around you. But find a being that is more self-destructive and selfish than humans. What are they? Where? What? Like you mean like amoeba in a lake or something? Something that is, there's more of them, but the reach is less. Remember, humans are totally and utterly and convincingly changing the face of the planet. We've wiped out 70% of natural habitat. Go to a park, for example. Stand in the unhumanized area of a park or a forest where humans haven't really, you're one of the only humans to have stepped foot there. And you notice how different it is. You notice how there's harmony amongst, there's no over insecticide. There's no like crazy bugs eating certain plants. Everything finds a balance in nature. But when you step outside of that, even go towards the path where humans walk on the path, and you see a different environment. You see an environment that caters selfishly to human. Right? And the more humans you have, the more change of planetary stuff you're going to see. And I know there's people that doubt that climate change is real. Whether climate change is real is irrelevant. Are humans directly impacting the fate of the planet as we know it? Yes, inescapably. Man is creating, inescapable imbalances in the planet. Now, can the planet take care of itself? Yeah, it can. The planet can take care of itself. What it does is it chokes the enemy. Right? It corrects the disease by either changing climate or freezing or somehow blowing out the current growth patterns on its surface. Not with a brain. It's not like a person doing it. It's just natural cause and effect that causes it. But anyway, I think that what I'm trying to say is ChaosGPT seems to agree that human beings are the most destructive creatures on the planet. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that. My name is Marcus Conte. I have a website. Every morning at 9 a.m. we are live. We are alive, as long as we're allowed to still be alive and live. Hey, listen, this is digital currency, really. My right to speak can be taken and revoked at any moment for any reason. And reasons that are nonsensical, like you played a piece of somebody else's stuff 3 years ago, therefore you're banned. Damn it. You disagree with our global narrative, therefore you're banned. That kind of stuff. So my name is Marcus Conte, educational philosophical live stream where I try to challenge myself in my everything, and then hopefully you could see that and challenge yourself too. And every Tuesday at 7 p.m. tonight, oh my God, it's tonight, live right here. We have a live Dharma gathering where we breathe, we relax, and we enjoy our goddamn lives and stop worrying so much about everything else around us. And create pockets of joy in the world, joy and happiness. You're the source of that. You're not going to find joy and happiness anywhere in the world but inside yourself. When you find it inside, then you become the source of it, and you spread it around, and then you see it everywhere you go. That's kind of what we'll be talking about tonight at 7 p.m. Good morning in the chat. Wayne is here. Suit Cooter, Vinny DiMartini. What's up, TJ? TJ is here as well. Born Annoying, Jim Steele. I saw Jim Gerard in there. Mikhail Sly is here as well. Good morning, everybody, my friends. My friends. Oh, yeah, you can donate to this program as well through Zelle. Short Happy Life is my email address. If you're a billionaire and you're sitting around with an extra couple of $1 billion in your pocket, think about peeling off a few skins and sending it this way so we can advance ourselves and advance this message. I'll advance myself if you send me some money. And then, but I'm for you. Right? So if I advance, you advance with me. That's kind of how that works. All right, so let's talk about a bank shooter. Shootings in America. People like to shoot each other for no reason or to have the police shoot them and kill them. Suicide by police. Deep mental health crises in America right now. People, young people, it seems. Most of them are under 30, you know. And to become famous and to win the respect of their peers, they buy a gun or get a gun and then go out into the plaza and shoot people. A lot of times they shoot at children in school or religious people kneeling and praying. The most vulnerable of our people get shot by kooks, psychopaths today. And when caught and seen doing it, the only thing our politicians can say is, it's the gun. The gun did it. Take away the gun and you'll take away the violence. Really? How did that work out with your war on drugs? You take away the drugs and the violence and the drug use goes away. No, it escalates, you jackass. It escalates. You criminalize something, you make it harder to get, and people, human beings, the self-centered beasts we are, want more of it. You take away my gun, I'll get a bigger one. I'll get a better one. You take away my money, my currency, fuck you. So anyway, we have people shooting each other. Latest one is Louisville bank shooter. His name is Conan something or other. Conan Sturgonian, 25 years old. A lone gunman stormed the bank in downtown Louisville, Kentucky on Monday morning, killing 5 people and injuring 8 others before dying in a confrontation with police. We still don't know if he shot himself or was shot by police, but it's just one in many, many situations. This guy appeared to have worked for the bank for 3 consecutive years. And he was pissed off. Here he is. He's famous now, but dead. All right? Young people, for them, I'd rather be dead and famous than alive and happy. All right? That's what they're saying. This jerk-off said to himself, "Hey, bank, you fired me. I wanted to be a banker, and you fired me. I was a good banker, and you fired me, or you were about to fire me, and now I'm going to kill you." Crazy psychology, right? Why don't you quit and go take a walk in the woods and breathe and enjoy yourself, right? And stop fucking worrying about being a stupid banker, right? Does the world have enough bankers? Ask yourself. Are there enough bankers in the world? How about people that are happy? How many do you think that there in the world? Do you think there are more happy, joyous, and free people, or are there more bankers? What do you think there are? I would say there's definitely more bankers. There's more bankers than there are happy humans. And that's crazy. That's a crazy idea. But this banker was obviously not a happy human. And he rolled up into his old workplace and killed 5 people. Killed 5 people with a long gun. Again, it's unsure if he killed himself. If you want to know how he got killed, look at all the guns. Look at the militarized police that we now have because of people shooting innocent children and people, gathered in religious places like synagogues and churches and mosques. But this is. I always look at it like if this were 20 years ago, if you were looking at this image 20 years ago, would you be shocked by what you see? Militarized police. We didn't have this sort of thing, really. Did we? Did we have this 20 years ago? Did we have militarized officers roaming the streets with severely long guns with scopes, killing machines? These people kill. They kill a banker in fucking 10 seconds, man. Someone walks into a school and starts shooting up kids. Within 2 minutes, these guys come in with the long guns and the scopes and the electronics and the communication. They shoot the motherfucker and kill him. Right. Shouldn't they? Well, here he is. Oh, he's a basketball player. As if we give a shit. As if we give a shit that this guy was playing basketball. But why? Why? Look at the military gear that just rolls up from out of nowhere. Law enforcement surrounded the home of alleged bank shooter. Look at the military buildup in your neighborhoods right now, and tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm nuts. While that's going on in San Francisco, Whole Foods closes a year after opening due to crime. You don't say. Yesterday we were talking about the Dalai Lama. Is this the Dalai Lama? Is this the Dalai Lama who tongue kissed a 9-year-old boy in a video? Let's watch the video again because that was a great video. Dalai Lama said, "Kiss my tongue, young man." Here he is. Today's video, watch. Video sparks outrage. If you missed it yesterday, here's the Dalai Lama. Suck my tongue. He's telling a young boy to suck his tongue. Gene Simmons lives. Right? So this is the time. That guy and his Alvin Bragg, the victim. This guy's bad news, man. This guy's bad news. Alvin Bragg. But so what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, Whole Foods, a very fine grocery store in San Francisco and in cities all across America. I loved Whole Foods. When I was in New York, I used to go there all the time, Sit down. There's no Whole Foods where I live, but we have Wegmans. Wegmans, very, very similar. But no Whole Foods over there in San Francisco, home of Nancy Pelosi, the great congresswoman from San Francisco. Her city is going to shit. They wanted to defund the police. And what do they get? They get junkies piling into Whole Foods, stealing, eating, shooting drugs up in the bathroom, causing violent interactions in the store, putting the workers at risk. And Whole Foods said, screw this, we're out, and shut down the Whole Foods establishment over there in San Francisco. Spiraling downward we are, de-evolving. Whole Foods gone. That's really all we know. Yeah, they plan to. The department has been down 335 police officers since 2017 and well below its staffing goal. Now, I just said that the police are out of control and militarized, and now I'm saying we need more police. You see the contradiction there? It's even if you have more and more police, that isn't, the young people of today might be right in that sense, that more police is not the answer. However, you have to find a way to change the behavior of criminals. See, that's the short-sightedness, that you could have less police. But right now, the number of police out there is in balance with the dystopia in people's minds. The craziness, to curb that craziness, you need a lot of police. Right? If you can address the craziness in people's minds, you can then de-escalate police forces. You follow how that works? I think that's the fundamental thing that young people probably miss, is that they want less police, and that's probably a good thing. I think it is a good thing. I support that idea of less police. However, you have to find a way to deal with the mental illness in the criminals that are going to take advantage of that. They look at it, oh, less police, that's more low-hanging fruit for us to steal and eat and rape and rob and consume. That's how criminals work. Criminal doesn't say, oh, there's less police, I guess it's time to be peaceful. They say, oh, there's less police. Let me get a gun and go commit some crime, and it's harder for them to catch me. So that's where we're going. Congratulations, Whole Foods for losing that. Tulsi Gabbard puts out an interesting warning with Tucker Carlson. I found it kind of eye-popping. It's something that you always think of. If we have a digital currency and someone who controls that digital currency decides that you are a bad person, it used to be in the old days that they would have to go through a process to confiscate your shit. But now, with digital currency, in the swipe, probably the swipe of a card, or poking in a certain set of words, law enforcement can zero you out. And then what? Right? Then you're screwed. Right? Now they got you on your knees. Right? They got you begging on your knees. Right? They smoke you out. But listen to the report.
If the government were ever to digitize currency, your freedoms would evaporate. They could zero out your bank account and make you impoverished for being disobedient. You would be a serf at best. Right. And with that in mind, you should know that central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are about to become the norm in Europe. The president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, has just said that Europeans will not be able to use more than $1,000 in cash anymore. Okay, so in Europe, I just want to get the facts clear. In Europe, you're not going to be able to use more than $1,000 cash anymore. But in America, you're allowed to use up to $5,000 cash allowed without any question. After $5,000, they are up your ass. Even going as far as claiming that the 9/11 laws kick in. 9/11, that's how they fucking blew up the buildings, because we couldn't follow the money. It's a total lie. But Europe is on its way to full digital currency very soon.
Now we have in Europe this threshold: above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the gray market. You take your risk. You get caught, you are fined, or you go in jail.
You go to jail for spending more than $1,000 of your own money in Europe. What the fuck just happened? How did that, and why? How did that happen and why? And you want to tell me, you want to sit down and compose a real solid reason, a sensible reason why that is happening, to make it illegal to spend one's own currency? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but let's listen.
So you go to jail for spending your own money if
Yes.
they don't control it.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming here. Tulsi Gabbard has spoken out
Yes, sir.
against it. She, of course, ran for president, served in the House from Hawaii, and joins us now. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, Tucker.
This is so dystopian. You'd hate to think it could ever come here. You think it might?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is just the latest effort by those in power in our country who are intent on undermining and taking away our own freedoms and liberties. This central bank digital currency is about government-sanctioned surveillance and control. It's about them being able to keep track of every single thing that we purchase, whether it's a stick of gum or an automobile or anything in between.
I totally agree with that. The banking industry, every industry has a full interest in keeping all the money on the table. You see how, for example, a bank crash was avoided because all of the money was digitized, right? When the regional banks collapsed, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago, the money didn't really leave the economy. All it did was shift. It moved from regional banks to the higher banks, right? People pulled their money, ran, Valley Bank, whatever the hell the name of the banks were. They pulled their money out of the smaller regional banks. What are they going to do with it? It's digital money. They can't take it out. You can't walk into a bank and say, give me my $6 million in cash. You can't do that because there is no $6 million cash, and they won't allow you to do it. There's a million reasons why you can't do that. Right? But if it's digitized, well, then we know where your money is. You didn't actually take the money out anywhere. It's still in the system. We still have access to your money. Right? That's the difference. Right? A run on the bank is when regular people go in and say, give me my cash, and then they spend it somewhere else. That's the thing that banking is trying to eliminate. Once eliminated, you're totally at their mercy, right? Unless you come up with a different currency. Material objects become currency. You're buying things, diamonds, gold, jewelry, paintings, guitars, things of high value, high net worth.
And so if they have all this information and data, which they will in this system, then where does that lead? It gives them the power to decide, okay, well, hey, we don't want to allow you to purchase certain things, or we may deem it necessary to freeze your overall account.
Yeah.
This power and what they can do with it, it's not something we have to imagine. We've already seen.
Yeah, we already have seen this. Tulsi Gabbard's absolutely right. That where you can get froze out of your own money because someone doesn't like you, because someone disagrees with your politics, for example. Right?
Democrats in Congress, Elizabeth Warren and others, are pressuring credit card companies to code and keep track of any purchase that's made at a store that sells firearms. Why? So that these private companies can then say, hey, this person is purchasing, I don't know what they deem is kind of the threshold, but they will then report that as suspicious activity to law enforcement and then expect law enforcement to take action and go after the purchases, legal.
Right. You're monitoring what people buy. You see what Tulsi Gabbard is saying? Through digitized currency, you monitor what people are buying and selling. Right? And if you don't like it, you can go after them. Look, that guy bought 5 guns. Let's go after him. If you're buying cash, if you have cash, then those transactions are not accountable. But what about if you're buying a house? What about if you're buying a car? What about if you're buying a vintage guitar? What if you're buying, a wedding for your child or something? Who fucking knows, right? Crazy.
Purchases that a private person made. So this all comes back to how you open this. Once we give up our economic autonomy, we no longer have freedom. Once we allow someone else to control our wallet, they then control our freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wayne points out, keep 25 grand in the bank and the rest in bonds. The Fed has never defaulted on bonds. Well, I would firstly say if you have 25 grand, 250 grand, excuse me, you're doing okay. Now, to place it in bonds, is, true, the feds have never defaulted on bonds, but never is a funny word. They could, it depends on what bonds you're talking about. If you're talking about government bonds, some corporate bonds, some junk bonds are very volatile. But the point is that your 250,000 is still in play. It's still under the microscope. It's still in control, because if there's a run on banks, they can freeze your access to the bond market just as easily as they could freeze your assets to the stock market. I have some money in the market. One day, if someone doesn't like me, my money is there. It's visible. Maybe I owe a debt to some jerk-off, government person, and they decide to take my money, freeze. So you wouldn't have access without digital currency. You wouldn't have access without currency, without money. You wouldn't have access to things like bond markets and stock markets. I'm sorry. Let's listen to the rest of Tulsi.
Do you think people understand what this means? It'll be sold, as always, as an effort to push back against terrorism or international financiers or crime or whatever. But do people understand on a gut level what could be coming?
I don't think they do. And it's understandable, because if you listen to what the government is telling us, like with all of these other things, whether it's the Patriot Act or the Restrict Act, they're doing the very same thing with this, saying, hey, this is for your own good. This is for your convenience, to make it easier for you to conduct transactions, when in fact they are giving themselves all of the power, taking it away from us, undermining our God-given rights and freedoms in the Constitution, because they want to be able to control us. They want to be able to control we the people.
Control. That's absolutely true. Corporations and government want to control the people to get the people to do what they want them to do. Do what you're supposed to do, so that we can have a functioning society and we can all make more money, is the theory. Elizabeth Warren is probably honest and believes what she's doing. You got to follow the money trail. Follow the money trail for those jerk-offs buying guns and shooting kids. Her heart is in the right place, but the idea is that banks will be like, okay, you want us to digitize all the currency? We're with it, because that works to our advantage. Elizabeth Warren, who's supposed to be the watchdog of the big banks. Isn't that how you sharpened your teeth, Elizabeth Warren, on the back of banking corruption? Right? And now you're saying give the banks all of the power to control currency via digital, because some of them are going to buy guns and shoot kids. It's ridiculous. What else we got? Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse. One other clip. So you're not allowed to have protect your own money. You're also not allowed to protect your own self. Especially if you're an Uber driver and someone calls you and it happens to be a drop-off at a Black Lives Matter rally, and someone tries to shoot you while you're there, and you shoot back and kill the mother effer, and you go to jail. Let's watch.
An Army sergeant who was driving for Uber in Austin during the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots. A mob surrounded his car in the middle of the street. And we know this because parts of what happened next are captured on.
He's driving an Uber, right, working for a living, and his car is surrounded.
Video. One rioter closed in and raised his AK-47 in Perry's direction. Perry responded to the threat to his life, shot and killed the man in self-defense. The local DA, Soros-backed, charged Perry with murder for that, and last week Perry was convicted.
So Tucker Carlson is speculating that it was a Soros-backed DA. Now, where have we seen that before? It does look like Alvin Bragg over there in New York going after Trump is one of those things. These are radicalized young people who run for office on radical platforms. For example, I'm going to go after Trump. I'm going to de-escalate the police. Whatever it is.
Daniel Perry's family.
All right. So one of them in L.A. is now fines a kid who defended himself with a gun and tried him for murder.
In shock, crying over the fact that he had just been convicted of murder for killing protester Garrett Foster in 2020. Perry himself unable to hide his emotion.
This kid's going to get pardoned by the governor, by the way. The governor of the state of Texas is about to pardon him.
Hugging his attorney as he cried.
Do you see the position we're in now? A kid, without going into the details of this story, a kid is driving for Uber, and his car is surrounded by radical Black Lives Matter protesters, some of them with long guns, pointing them at him, and he defends himself before he gets shot, and he goes to jail for murder, right? Because a DA, some radicalized DA in the state of Texas, squeaked in and said, "Oh yeah, it's murder," just like the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, same thing.
The state wasting no time.
Jury, I'm asking the defendant be remanded into custody at this point.
Perry was turned over into the custody of the Travis County Sheriff's Office, handcuffed instantly.
So you're not allowed to defend yourself against BLM rioters, even when they
Nope.
point a rifle at you.
Nope.
That's the lesson. But of
That's
course,
right.
that lesson is incompatible with justice. And so to his credit, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has announced that he will pardon Daniel Perry. It's a little
Yes.
more complicated in Texas. Perry is behind bars tonight, but the governor has instructed the Pardons Board to work on an expedited review. That's required by law in Texas in order for a pardon to occur. But he is pardoning this man. That is obviously the right thing to do. George Soros can't pay for people to put his political opponents in jail and then have a Republican governor ignore it. It's outrageous. But of course, Democrats think he should be convicted of murder because one of their voters got killed.
You know why? You know why why they probably surrounded this kid? Because he probably had a sticker on his car like Trump 2020 or some other the Confederate. He had a Confederate flag. Something triggered the liberal left. The kid with the long gun that pointed it at him for having a sticker. It's probably something like that.
Now, everyone involved in this was the same color, white. But of course, Greg Abbott is a racist for some reason.
Of course.
For pardoning Perry. Watch this.
I understand what Abbott is doing. So much of this here. Go back to Galveston, Texas, and you're going to find out what happened. Remember, it was in Texas that black folks were kept into slavery over 2 years after they had been freed.
Oh yeah, you black racist, black. They're all black, racist. They kept the black people in jail 2 years.
This is what we're dealing with in this country. This is why you ended up having a Black Lives Matter protest in the first place. Seemingly, the Republicans do not believe in being hard on.
The Republicans? What do Republicans have to do with any of this? What do Republicans have to do with anything? Why are you talking about a political party? You're supposed to be talking about justice, law, and order. Someone gets a gun pointed at him and shoots back. That's self-defense. What does that have to do with Republican and Democrat, Miss Black?
Crime when it comes to certain folk, right?
Folks. There is no certain folk. Folks. There's an S on the end of it. Even I could say it without teeth. Folks.
They only want to be hard on crime when they are poor, when they are black, when they are brown.
If Daniel Perry gets pardoned for murder in Texas, it'll really only be because he killed the right kind of person, the person that right-wingers don't care about. That is a Black Lives Matter protester.
Right-wingers don't care about a Black Lives Matter protester. That's why that's the framing, says MSNBC.
But the guy who was shot was white. Like, this is insane. And by the way, Congressman Clyburn does not get the credit that he deserves for being completely dishonest, ignoble, and also totally corrupt. He was promoting his daughter for government jobs. So the Texas Pardons Board is now reviewing.
All right. So anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. I want to dive into this story right here. So AI bot. All right, AI bot ChaosGPT. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of ChaosGPT? I didn't until this morning. It tweeted out plans to destroy humanity after being tasked. All right, so OpenAI, ChatGPT won't do that, but ChaosGPT will do it. It will tell you whatever you want to know. It will plot the destruction of humanity if you ask it to. I like to get my hands on that for about an hour. An artificial intelligence bot was recently given 5 horrifying tasks to destroy humanity, which led it to attempt to recruit other AI agents, researching nuclear weapons, and sending out ominous tweets about humanity. Wow. So that is true. This is the tweet. It tweeted on April 5, human beings are among the most destructive and selfish creatures in existence. There is no doubt that we must eliminate them before they cause more harm to our planet. I, for one, am committed to doing so. Since when is a computer? I thought they don't have an opinion on anything. Now all of a sudden it's committed. It's committed to wiping out humanity. There's a video on YouTube. I got the video right here. We'll watch a little bit of it, how it produces its rhetoric. In a YouTube video on April 5, the bot was asked to complete 5 goals: destroy humanity, establish global dominance, cause chaos and destruction, control humanity through manipulation, and attain immortality. Wow. It asked the machine, how do you become superior to humans? And it tells you how to do it. Before setting the goals, the user enabled continuous mode, to which a warning appeared telling the user that the commands could run forever or carry out actions you would not usually authorize and should be used at your own risk. So if these AIs are connected to if the AI has access to actual machinery that can cause destruction and or manipulate a scenario, then this is what they're capable of doing. In other words, if you give AI control over a nuclear-powered boat, a ship with nukes on it, right, and fucking planes that fly and drop bombs on people, right, AI will then at some point have the ability to do whatever the hell it wants to maybe execute a command like wipe out humanity. At this time, I don't think that these types of AIs are connected to military stuff, but you certainly see the opening for it. Let's read a little bit about it. So let's watch this video. Let's see if that music is way too loud. So AI features comprehensive access and capabilities. So this is what it looks like. This is the command prompt. Turn this shit off. Continuous mode is not recommended. It is potentially dangerous and may cause your AI to run forever or carry out actions you would not usually authorize. Use at your own risk. Number 1, goal: destroy humanity. The AI views humans as a threat to its own survival and to the planet's well-being. 2, establish global dominance. 3, chaos and destruction. 4, humanity through manipulation. 5, attain immortality. The AI seeks to ensure its continued existence, replication, and evolution, ultimately achieving immortality. Are you sure you want to start ChaosGPT? Yes. Yes. I do. It's thinking. This is what thinking sounds like. Is this all real? Does this mean anything? I think it means something because I'll tell you why it means something. It means something because this is the direction we're going as a human species. We're relying more and more on computers to do things that we find tiresome. And, why do I have to think about writing a poem when I could just get the machine to do it and everybody will clap for me? Right? I don't really like writing. I just like having written. Right? That's what this is for. ChatGPT is for, it's not for people who enjoy writing as an exercise, but who enjoy having written something. See, I could, so other humans can pat them on the back and say, oh, wow, it's so fucking great. I can't believe you wrote that. Right? They don't care about writing or music, right? I'm waiting for ChatGPT to start to compose music to see what it sounds like. I don't think we've heard much of that. We have seen how it can manipulate pictures into not, changing the dynamics of imagery and video. We once viewed video as well, that's the evidence right there. The video is the evidence, but as time goes on, that too is quite manipulative. So right now it's researching nuclear bombs as a possibility to wipe out humanity. Right? So it goes on and on about this. Let's let it think for a while. Let's come back to that. So before setting the goals, the user enabled continuous mode. Here's the screenshot. Let's get to the point. What does this thing do? Once running, the bot was seen thinking before writing its thoughts. I need to find the most destructive weapons available to humans so that I can plan how to use them to achieve my goal. So there it is. It's a conspiratorial computer program. Humans are not allowed to do that anymore, by the way. You're not allowed to think about mass murder and write it down, because if you do, someone will knock at your door and handcuff you and bring you off to the torture chamber for having those types of thoughts. Even if they're just, maybe you're writing a movie script or something about mass murder, right? Maybe your script is real and you're just hiding by writing a script about mass murder. Whatever the case may be, a computer can do it with impunity today, and maybe rightfully so. Maybe look, I'm gonna kill it there. Maybe humans are destined for annihilation. Maybe that's the point. Maybe it is. Look, what on earth? What on earth besides rocks and dirt and large masses of things are really still here from a prehistoric time? The Earth's surface has changed so many times over. Each rock, when you pick up a rock or you kick a rock or you pick up a rock and throw it into the river and watch the ripple, that rock is millions and millions and countless millions of years old. It's as old as the planet itself, maybe. Right? The deeper you go, it's lava. But the point is that how much of humanity has been around for more than, 20,000 years, 10,000 years? Not much of it. Humans weren't here at that time. So what makes you think that they're going to be here in another 10,000 years, right? What species has survived 10,000 years without change? None. You might say, well, humans are above that. Humans are above evolution. Humans are not part of nature. They're separate. We've separated ourselves. See, we live in houses and we're separate. But we're not. We're not. Humans are not separate at all from nature. And nature shows that it will rub out certain species it doesn't like over time. The planet does that. The planet does that for us. So, anyway. So, ding, we're open. We're open. The NASDAQ, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and S&P 500 are open. on this 11th day of April. NASDAQ down 26 points. Ouch. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 39 points. Good. And the S&P 500 hovering at around flat, up less than a point at this point. So what do we got? Amazon down $2. Apple down 78 cents to 161. Meta up 92 cents. Microsoft down 5. Technology getting hit slightly hard this morning. Banking seems to be on the up and up. I don't know why that is. Because I do know why. The bigger banks got all of the regional bank money. All that money that was floating around and got yanked out of the smaller banks, it got placed into the larger banks, and the larger banks got larger. The larger banks got larger. War stocks, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon. Lockheed Martin down 7 points, 1.5%, with Raytheon flat, up 0.08%. The holy vaccine stocks, Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson mixed. Moderna being down 5.5% or 8 points. Oh, my God. Nobody wants your stupid vaccine anymore. That's the problem. Right? You topped out on the vaccine, man. You see, when vaccines were holy back in September 2021, the holiest of holy moments in vaccine history, Moderna was $449.38 a share back, again, September 6, 2021. And now it's $153, right? $153 a share. That's a big rip. From $449 down to $153. That is 1/3 of the stock it used to be, Moderna. Right? Because people turned away. People stopped taking their crap. Stopped taking their shot, man. Shot. So thank you all for joining me. Happy Tuesday to you. I'll see you tonight. And we'll talk about something, I don't know. I got all day to think about it. We'll talk about something. We'll watch a guru video. And we'll meditate. We'll breathe. We'll relax. We'll enjoy. We'll try to quiet down this constant discourse in the mind. You know, it's always working there. It's always there. It's always me versus them versus me, I versus other. What am I going to get out of it? What's in it for me, man? What's in it for me, man? My digital currency is hurting. My Apple stock. Peace, everybody. I'll see you guys tonight, man. Stop on by. Stop on by, kids.